Hey man, I heard you suck at Survivalist Invisible Stream, but don't worry, I made a guide for you on how to survive. Just leave it to your man Cryde and this will be you right here in no time. Survive. Yes, 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 yes. You can thank me later, so feel free to follow along, as I'll be starting from the main menu, and let's get started. Click New Game, find yourself a character. Make yourself or randomize it. In my case, I'm gonna randomize it. Something something eeny meeny miny mo, and I want you to know me. Cool. She looks like she could take it like a champ. Perfect. So the important thing you should know about Survivalist is that everything you do, including if you get a game over, is tied to your skills here. If your hand-to-hand is too low, you can't target zombie heads. Whether or not your gunshots are accurate and how much damage they do is tied to firearms, and similar applies to archery. Stealing and coming up behind people is tied to stealth, and where it gets interesting is that throwables like Molotovs are tied to construction skill for how much damage they do. If you hover over each of them, it'll basically tell you what they affect. You can lose skill points in this game, and fitness even affects if you succeed at stealth assassinating your targets. This game is designed to compel you to have people for certain uses. For now, we're just going to put a single point to each stat and roll with it, okay? So personality is mostly for the RPG side of the game, and it affects dialogue options, compatibility, and choosing ones will lock you out of certain dialogue options no matter what. This isn't a game where there are best traits necessarily, although there are more optimal ones that work better. For now, I usually model this after myself for immersion, but let's model this after you, the dear viewer and average Night Cryde fan. Yeah, there we go. See? Spot on, don't you think? We're not going to look too much into world generation for now. Just remember to keep save tokens on, and try to start in a season that is not winter. Alright, you're also given certain points to pick up items you start with. I recommend just starting with a gun, and a melee weapon like an axe, with some bullets for your first time. Don't forget the loot. Let's begin. Voila, here we are. If there's cars around, you feel free to search, but you shouldn't be starting too close to any undead just yet. Oh hey, you found a refugee. She knows me, that's so crazy.
Oh my god, you took her here at Starbucks.
Now, while I could certainly give her a bullet breakfast, it's rough out there in the cold, frozen hoods of the Pacific Northwest. So, let's make some friends. Most refugees you meet like yourself early on will be keen on joining you, but if they don't, just know you can convince them either with your actions or with your action. If you find that the user interface is a little distracting, there's actually an option to turn it off in your settings. No doubt in a matter of seconds after I've said this, you've either already or will run into the infected. So the general rule of engagement is that for the runners, you aim for the legs first, especially if they're coming at you in groups. This way you have a better chance at hitting. You cripple them into a walk state, and you may not even have to end them if you don't want to. Spacebar is how you dodge, and try not to get grabbed, as even if you do break out, it still costs stamina to break free. And if you're in a group of them attacking you, stamina is really all you got until you eventually stop and get swarmed anyway. Your hand-to-hand skill is important here, and most of the time your companions won't deal the finishing blow, so getting them on the ground is important. Zombies have several different strains, each stronger than the last. Green, blue, red, white. If you're bit with green strain, you have a week to find an antigen to cure yourself, which you can find pretty much anywhere. A day for blue, a couple minutes for red. And if you get bit by white or invisible strain, you're fucked instantly. And there is no antigen, so you want to strategize and maneuver carefully. Each strain is stronger than the last, and the more rare the strain, the harder it is to find antigens for it. Here you got your basic stats to keep up: water, food, and sleep. After your first few fights with the infected, you'll likely be wandering and scavenging around. Be sure to avoid coming across any looter encampments, which you can recognize by the Neanderthal-ass music and torture devices in front of their camp. Survivor camps won't have anything out front, and play somber music instead. Be sure to pick up a toolbox at some point, as many as you and your companions can carry, since at one point you're going to want to settle down and finally make your own base. You can start a base anywhere, you just need to take it over if it isn't being built by you directly, with the required resources. In my case, I'm going to make a base here at the weather radar tower because its high vantage point gives a bonus to my shooting, and it's generally an advantageous position to be in. I should mention, just because it's an extremely useful tip to know beforehand so you don't get filtered as a newbie, that looter camps send out extortion squads to equip a gun, and sometimes guns they're using to compensate for something. Think about that. If you don't give them what they want, they'll mow you down as fast as it takes for you to follow me on Twitter X for updates on videos and projects I'm working on, like the Survivalist campaign mod. And since you're only in the beginning, the best thing you can do is avoid them, and it's easier to do so if you have fences and multiple exits around your camp. For that, we go to a tree and cut it down. If you have some companions, you can set them to lumberjack and they'll automate themselves to do the work. They'll only stop if they're starving, thirsty, or sleepy. But eventually, whatever you have built, like this wall I've created here around the exit point in the tower, will be finished provided they have big enough backpacks. And there we go! There we have it! We've got a very basic bare bones base set up, and from here you just expand into a proper camp, but for now, that covers the basics. Don't forget to remember to like and subscribe. And please remember to like and subscribe with that bell set to all. And comment down below if you want to see more survivalist tutorials and content. Maybe if there's enough demand, I'll come back and let's see if we can go and visit our neighbors, huh? See you guys around.